I wanted to do a quick video on air traveling with the pedalboard. I just did it. So where I went was, DC, Reagan National, all the way to LA. And from that transport, my pedalboard was good. So, and TSA was happy. They didn't touch it, okay? Then I went from LA, and I was going to Memphis, but I stopped at Dallas, I think that was DFW, and then to Memphis, right? Tennessee, Memphis, right? Now here, TSA touched it, because when I went to Memphis, my pedalboard was messed up, or at least it was unplugged. Nothing else was pulled apart, but it was unplugged. Then coming back, which I just got back on Sunday, I went from Memphis, and I was traveling to DC, but it stopped in Chicago, midway to DC. Here, I have a feeling that this is where I'm going to be going to open it up. So here it's, you know, they transferred my bag. So this went through a lot of traveling. Now, what I did here was I took the M80 series. I don't know if you could see that, but the M80 series mono bag. I kept nothing in here. I kept this empty, this part empty, and I put this nice little padding on it. It seemed to hold it. So it looks like here TSA. Whoops, sorry. TSA, looks like TSA did something with it. So what I have is I've pretty much bubble wrapped, like, you know, just real loosely, but I put extra bubble wrap in it. And I also have my my wireless, which I also kind of wrapped up. But what I'm going to see is if it hooks up. I'm doing this live. I haven't opened it up yet. So I'm doing all this in the video. So it looks like, let me pull this out. Turn this around. So this is coming straight out of the bag, and it looks like this kind of moved around a bit. So I recommend, if you do something like this, to make sure you bring extra patch cables, because it looks like sometimes it might move around a lot, or if they start unhooking stuff, you know, they could, you know, short out your thing. So let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in right immediately and not even look on my power supply. My power supply is down here on the bottom here. So let me go ahead and just hook it up quickly. So it looks like things are lighting up, like this is on, that's on, that's on. Okay, so look, it looks like, again, they did this before. When I arrived at Memphis, my phaser and my reverb were unhooked. So it looks like, again, they unhooked it. So if I hook this thing up, it wouldn't play. Sometimes that pisses me off. So let me unplug this. So it looks like they pulled the battery out. They did this before. They pulled the battery out. If you could see this, they pulled the battery out of my wah. Probably to see if there was bomb material in it. And right here, it just looks like this wire is not plugged in. Let's see if I can zoom up. So it looks like one of these wires is like not plugged in. So they might have, maybe, I don't know what they did. But before, when I was in Memphis, they pulled wires out. And like I have a specific like way of hooking these up, like these as far as power, so that this power supply doesn't burn out. Let me go back. And so they did that in Memphis, and I'm hoping that I put it back together again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start marking. I think it's better, like if you have a power supply, that you should start marking where each of them go in this situation, because if they start pulling out the plugs and you're hooking it up at the wrong area and then you burn out your power supply, then TSA totally screwed you. So just to be prepared, if you travel with your pedal board, it might be wise to color code these hookups in case they do it. To me, it just looks like they just unhooked it, but they always pull out this battery. So I don't know, maybe if I take the battery out, because this is already powered. My wah is already powered. So let's go back. I guess the only thing that sucks is that, you know, my board gets moved around a lot. Okay. So there it is. So it looks like everything's on. Well, the tuner doesn't need anything. This is a volume pedal, so it doesn't need anything. So let's go ahead and hook it up. So let's see, the wah. Wah, the compressor. Some of these buttons get all weird. Oh yeah, and I didn't do the ricochet. Alright, so everything's working. And I was using my PRS and the orange amp here, the 60 watt, or the orange crush. So yeah, so what I did was I used the mono bag. It's the M80 series. And I bubble wrapped my board like this. And then I used pretty much this to cover on top of it. This nice piece of foam to cover on top of it. And it went here. I don't know if you could see that. It went to DC to LA, so East Coast to West Coast. And then from LA, it made 2 stops. I went from LA to Memphis, but we had to do a layover, so it got transferred. Then from Memphis, I went to DC, but it went layover and it got transferred to Chicago. So it's been through a lot. And, you know, the only thing I recommend is, you know, get a small board. Like maybe I can make this a small board, but I use all these pedals. And make sure, again, that you mark your power supply if you have a specific way of hooking up your power so that it doesn't overload. I would color code it and mark it, because the TSA will grab it. And maybe take out the battery in your wah, because it seems like the second time they did it, they took out the battery. So, and bring extra patch cables also. Again, this is checked baggage, so... yeah. So that's it. Okay, thanks. Bye.